Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ahmet Murat Kılıç. I'm the program manager of the Digital Citizenship Education project at the Council of Europe's Education Department. I'm very happy to welcome you today in this important event. This online event is about the launching of the Council of Europe's online training program for educators on digital citizenship education. This program is being developed in close partnership with the European Wergeland Center in Oslo, Norway. I would like to welcome the speakers, but before that, I would like to remind that you will have the opportunity to ask questions in the chat window, and we will be delighted to answer those questions. First, we will start with the welcoming speeches by Milano Kiriazi, the head of department of the education department, and then Anna Perona Pijelstad. Please excuse me, Anna, if I mispronounce your last name. She is the executive director of the European Wergeland Center. And then we will hear from the course designers and course contributors about the features of the first course of this online training program entitled What is Digital Citizenship Education? And soon after, we will have a panel discussion and our panelists are practitioners and one of our experts on digital citizenship education who will talk about their experience with testing a preliminary version of this course last year. And this panel will be moderated by Michael Remert, the head of the Education Policy Division. And at the end, we will have a wrap-up session, and Irina Sobor from the European Wergeland Center will be concluding on today's event. You are more than welcome to visit the Wergeland Center's website to explore more on the course and to enroll for the course. But without further delay, I will give the floor to Milano Kiriazi to deliver his opening speeches. Milano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Murat, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining us today in this event that we co-organize with European Wergeland Center. Is another success story of our long-standing cooperation that we have with the Wergeland Center, which is specialized in several topics related to citizenship education, to development of competencies for democratic culture, and also but many other training programs that they organize in different European countries. My name, as Murat already said, is Milano Kiriazi, and I'm the head of the education department at the Council of Europe. The Council of Europe's involvement in education dates back to several decades, and everything started with the adoption of the European Culture Convention in the 50s. And our involvement encompasses a wide range of topics, going from history and language education, to education for democratic citizenship, higher education, digital citizenship education, etc. The Council of Europe has, over the past quarter of a century, striven to protect children's rights and foster education and cultural opportunities for them in the digital environment. Since 2015, this work has evolved into actions designed to empower children as active digital citizens. To that end, the Steering Committee for Education Policy of the Council of Europe launched in 2016 an intergovernmental project entitled Digital Citizenship Education. Since then, we have developed a concept first of digital citizenship, which builds on our long-standing project on education for democratic citizenship and human rights education, as well as in our reference framework of competencies for democratic culture. Digital citizenship education aims to empower learners through the acquisition of competencies for democratic culture in order to be able to competently and positively engage with evolving digital technologies, participate actively and responsibly in social and civic activities online or offline, be involved in a process of lifelong learning, and be committed to defending continuously human rights and dignity online. The Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe, convinced of the importance of setting a digital citizenship education as a priority for policymakers, adopted a policy recommendation on developing and promoting digital citizenship education in 2019. This recommendation is an important one for us in order to set up future activities in this field. And the recommendation sets the European standards for the development of digital citizenship education and requests to member states to put in place measures to implement the principles promoted by the Council of Europe in this area. They relate, those measures relate to the prerequisites of digital citizenship, the model of skills needed for the development of a culture of democracy, and the effective exercise of digital citizenship at individual and societal level. To support education systems in our member states, we have also developed, in addition to those standards, various resources, materials for educators, teacher trainers, education policymakers, parents, etc. To name a few, we have, for example, you can access throughout our website a Digital Citizenship Handbook, DCE Trainers Pack, several leaflets for children, teachers, parents, lessons plans, etc., etc. And today we are launching this, the first module of a series of training on digital citizenship education together with the European Vergeland Center. And this work related to training responds to the demand of the recommendation with regard to the development of competencies for education professionals. Education actors, trainers, teachers, and other relevant actors should benefit from initial and in-service training in order to continuously improve their knowledge, pedagogical practices, competencies, and their own skills in the digital field, as well as to sharpen their critical sense towards digital media, to monitor and understand the use of interactive tools by their students and the skills required to access, use, and create effectively and responsibly diversified media content. We are, of course, aware that for a variety of reasons, there is a gap between policy and practice. And this is especially obvious in emerging policy areas like digital citizenship education. One of the causes we feel is a lack of proper training programs for educators in this area. And the online training might be a practical and effective method for reaching out to many practitioners across Europe and therefore bridging the gap between policy and practice. As a result, the Council of Europe, in collaboration, as I said before, with the European Vergeland Center, has been working on a comprehensive online training program to help educators. And then you'll, today, through the panel discussions and this event, you'll get a more in-depth understanding of this training course. We anticipate that this training program will extensively promote digital citizenship education in Europe, improve educators' understanding of the relevance of such an education, ensure a comprehensive knowledge of the Council of Europe concepts, principles, and measures with regard to digital citizenship education, at the same time help educators improve their skills in teaching such education, and establish an active and engaging community of practice to exchange and align efforts and best practices. Finally, we are convinced that education is the most powerful vehicle for transforming societies from the ground up. Educators, as change agents, are critical to this process. As a result, any investment in their professional growth in general is fundamental and worthwhile. So thank you very much, and I wish you a successful session.
Thank you, Milano. Thank you very much. And now I would like to invite Anna to deliver her speech. Anna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Murat, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from Oslo. Thank you for joining us. We are really proud to launch today the first course of the series of courses on digital citizenship education, as Milano said, with our long-standing partner and founder, the Council of Europe. At the center, we have been working on digital citizenship education for quite some time. Digital citizenship skills are critical in this century. They are key to understand a complex reality. And these days, as a bloody war unfolds in the heart of Europe, with warfare also taking place in the media space, we all realize the value of critical thinking, the value of understanding online media, the value of responsible use of internet, the value of participating, the value of engaging online. And we hope that this course will really help you plan digital citizenship learning activities which are able to engage and empower students to responsibly navigate in this complex world. Students who are able to be active citizens in an environment dominated by digital technology. And the course is developed for self-learning of teams of educators online. And working with teams online might be different from other courses you might have taken. But we truly believe in the importance of collaborative learning in all settings. And we have focused at the center on blended and online learning. Now, as technologies have become a vital part of education, it is difficult to imagine learning without its online dimension. We believe that flexible tools for learning is a part of the democratization process in education. And while the world has a lot to do to guarantee equal access to education across the countries, we cannot ignore the fact that education has changed and the way we learn has changed. And at EVC, we are working as a hub of blended learning, making use of both online and offline opportunities. At our online learning platform, we are offering a wide range of courses for participants of our projects and activities. But our plan is to proceed with developing an offer for a wider public with open courses which everyone can take. This course today is our first open course together with the Council of Europe, and hopefully you will see many more soon in our platform. So please register at the platform, sign up for the newsletter, follow us on Facebook for more information on what's to come. And as always, we are waiting for your evaluation and your feedback. This is important for us to improve and to move forward. And last but not least, I am extremely proud as well to have several Ukrainian experts in the team of developers. Thank you for your creativity and devoted work despite all the hardship you are forced to face now in your home country. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. And as you heard from Milano and Anna, that we don't need to convince you how important digital citizenship education is. And then that's why, you follow us, you learn or you download our resources. And we also, based on your feedback through different channels, in particular, we have a network of, we call them DC promoters in 20 member states. We hear your voices, we get your feedback and try to respond to your needs. And this online training program, which was mentioned, is kind of a result of this effort of listening to and identifying the needs of educators all across Europe. And now, without further delay, I would like to pass the floor to the designers of the online training program and to talk about the program overall, but to talk also about some new and innovative features of this program and the course. And I would like to welcome to the stage Ms. Olena Staslavska and Mr. Ted Huddleston and Mr. Angelos excuse me, but Valeniaitos, sorry about this, Angelos. It's very difficult for me. And also two contributors who make this course available or on the Wergeland Center's online training platform, Oksana Pashinik from Ukraine and also Andriy Donetsev from Ukraine. And you can imagine under what circumstances they are working now. I truly appreciate their contribution. And now I give the floor to Olena to start the presentation on the online training program. Olena, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Murat. Please confirm that you hear me.
We hear you well, Olena.
Yes, great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olena Staslavska, and I'm one of the authors of the course. I will need now some assistance with the slides because we prepared together with my colleagues some slides that will help us to take a couple of minutes to present you a structure of the program quickly and a wider context of the course that you are going to experience in the next days. And my colleagues will continue this presentation with highlighting the educational innovation that is used here. So first of all, the course is just the first introduction to a series of online courses of Digital Citizenship Education. Yes, thank you for this next slide, but in the future, please wait till I ask you to change the slides. So the whole series of course, no, that's great. Next slide, please. The whole series of courses contain short courses, master courses, and an expert course. Anyone can take short courses that give a quick answers. These courses, they answer you the question, anything you want to know about the selected topic connected with digital citizenship education in a simple and direct way. And it's here in short courses. Everyone who finish the courses will be able to produce their own learning activities and to use the tools that are suggested by the courses in the everyday practice. The next level, master courses, they are longer and more complex. They give thorough understanding of a selected topic, and they are intended for people, for educators who have already experienced short courses and want to know more and to be able to do more. The last level, which is in the core of the program, is an expert course. It's intended for the ones who finished short courses and master courses and want to become digital citizenship education educator and present the digital citizenship education concept according to the Council of Europe standards of the program. The course that we are launching today belongs to the group of short courses. And if you click now, because it's an interactive presentation, maybe, yes, here, you see the star. So the course on what is digital citizenship education is within these short, simple courses. Next slide, please. So what can you expect from the short courses? Click, please. You will have an understanding of the basics of the topics. In your case is the general overview of the concept of digital citizenship education. You will feel confident in putting this theoretical concept in practice of your everyday life. And you will finish the course with a ready-to-implement activity customized to the needs of your learners. Next click, please. In this course, you will learn in a small group with your colleagues, and you will decide when and how you want to do it. Maybe you want to cover the whole course in a weekend, or maybe you want to divide it into short meetings and do it in the course of 2 or 3 weeks. Generally, you can learn together in one place, or you can take the course in a group from different places. You see that the time is not very strict here. We intend that you finish this course from 10 to 20 hours. Why it's like this? Because you decide how much time you would like to invest in selected exercises. As individuals, you decide how deep you want to go into individual exercises, and as the group, you decide how long you would like to discuss the selected issues raised in this course. And at the end of the course, you will go through the full cycle of experiential learning, which gives experience, reflection on this experience, thinking and acting. And you will find a lot of tools, practical tools in this course. For example, in this course, you will explore the Digital Citizenship Education Matrix, which describes 10 digital citizenship education domains with questions that can be discussed with your students. You will find 10 case studies showing digital citizenship education in different contexts, on lessons, beyond lessons, as the extracurricular activities or community projects for different age groups. And you will see 3 sets of learning outcomes that can be used by you to design ready-made educational activities. And at the end of this course, you will be asked to design one of such activities. And as soon as you design this activity and submit it, you will receive the certificate of the completion of the course. But you will be able to return to this course and to these tools shown in the course even after the completion of the course, because we believe even if to receive the first results it's enough to have 10 hours, we believe that you will be motivated to return to these courses again and again, because there you will find inspirations and ideas to much more individual education activities of yours. Next slide, please. In the master courses, next click, the master courses are designed for those who are interested in the detailed understanding of the selected topic, and this will go after some time, after you will experience some of the short courses and decide that you would like to learn more. And these courses will have a form of blended learning with online and offline modules, and the necessity to test educational approaches in the classroom and reflect on these approaches in the course portfolio. And of course, the course will finish with the certificate, and this course will take 40 learning hours. Yes, next click, please. These are the features of the course. I don't see it because I'm speaking from the telephone, but this is what I was telling, that this is the blended learning, and it's 40 hours and experiential learning cycle. And here you are not only using tools, you are designing and creating and testing your own tools. Next slide, please. And the next click. The expert course will be intended for education professionals who will be interested to becoming the digital citizenship education educators. Next click, please. And it will be very complex hybrid learning course that will take 120 hours, and it will be based on research and reflection and design of individual learning interventions. And the participants who would like to finish this course and to cooperate with the Council of Europe as Digital Citizenship Education educators and to cooperate with the program in the first year, they will have to defend their course portfolio. And the next slide, please. So this is the overall structure of the program. But now let's return to what we are doing now and what we have already prepared now. You see the title, Controversial Issues in Digital Environment. This is one of the courses that are currently being put online. The next course is Click Please, and it's about cyberbullying. Then another course, yes, we need the click, is Hate Speech Online. There are 3 more courses. One is Active Participation in Digital Environment, Digital Access and Inclusion, and Disinformation Online. So these are the courses that are currently being put online. And today, one more click, we are working on what is Digital Citizenship Education course. And with this, I am passing the floor to my co-author, to my friend Ted Huddleston, who will speak more about the concept behind this course.
Thank you, Olena. Yes, I'm Ted Huddleston from the United Kingdom. Could we have the next slide, please, before I start? Go one back, please. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. As I said, thank you, Olena. At this point, I'd like to say a little bit of something about the concept of digital citizenship education that lies behind the whole of this new program, including the short courses. Now, we feel it's important to say something about this because not all approaches to digital citizenship education are the same. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of advice, a lot of resources, but not in every case the same approach. So we need to, I think, carefully analyze what is out there and to contrast it with what we are trying to do in this particular project. Now, in this respect, the teaching of digital citizenship education is similar to any other area in school. For example, there are different approaches to language teaching, different approaches to mathematics. Not just the methods sometimes, but also the purposes. Why? What's it for? And so on. And we find this in the digital citizenship education world too. So we want to be absolutely clear at the outset. What is the model which is underpinning what we think we are trying to do here? And how did we arrive at it? The next slide, please. We were fairly fortunate in this respect because at the Council of Europe, we've had many years now of experience of working on citizenship education in a face-to-face context. Almost, I think, 25 years now. And during that whole time, in coordination and with the support of the European Wergeland Centre, I think we've managed to develop a distinctive European approach to citizenship education, which is based on the core Council of Europe values of democracy, human rights and the rule of law. And it's all summed up in the Charter of Education for Democratic Citizenship and Human Rights Education. And in practical terms, you can see this resulting in a whole series of training courses, teaching manuals, guidance documents, which some of you will have experienced or be familiar with, throughout all the member states. So we've got already a basic concept of citizenship education, and in developing what we've been trying to do with digital citizenship education, we've drawn directly on that work, directly on that tradition, on the face-to-face tradition, and applied it with the necessary changes directly to the digital domain. And I think this is because we think, or we treat, if you like, the digital citizenship really as not a completely different world, but an extension of face-to-face citizenship in the physical world. I would like at this point really to highlight just 3 principles which we have taken from our long-standing tradition of work on democratic citizenship education and applied it to the digital domain. So can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. And the first principle I want to refer to is about the aims of digital citizenship education. What is it for? What is it intended to achieve? Its intended outcomes. And we're glad to see our speakers have already referred to this this afternoon. And I will say something a little bit about it again now. That what we have in our version here of digital citizenship education, and I have to keep reminding you there are versions around, different versions around. Because first and foremost, we have, I think here, what you would call an empowerment model of education. So in the model we are putting forward throughout all these courses, we're talking about enabling learners to play their own part in society. It is about enabling, not teaching how to behave, but enabling people to make their own voices heard when they choose, as they choose, how they think fit, online, offline. So this is an enabling activity, an empowering activity. And I say this and I emphasize this because this contrasts with a lot of material which you'll find elsewhere online, which emphasizes, sometimes maybe overwhelmingly emphasizes, safeguarding of children as being, the main outcome of this. So we find lots of information and teaching activities about how you can help children to stay safe online, protect their data, avoid prejudice, and so on and so forth. Keeping safe, keeping well. Now, obviously, it is very clear we agree that this aspect of education is important. Self-protection, knowing how to protect yourself online in connection with different digital technologies is an important competence for citizens to learn. It's an important digital competence, but it is only one milestone on the way to becoming an active digital citizenship. Maybe it's one of the foundations, but it's only one of those foundations. Concentrating on safeguarding and keeping safe and secure and well and healthy online is really quite a long way from developing those kind of active digital skills of being an involved citizen. And this takes me on to my second set of principles. Could we have the next slide, please? Okay. And this is about the focus of the activity, the focus of digital citizenship education. So sometimes you will see in this kind of area, this field of work, that learners are asked to focus on their own behavior. How do they behave online? How can they improve their behavior online? About their own behavior. In our case, we think, again, this is just part of a bigger story. In our kind of approach here, we have learners not just focusing on their personal behavior, but actually focusing on the whole digital environment of which they are a part. So not only discussing, thinking about, exploring their own rights and responsibilities, but the rights and responsibilities of everyone else involved, all the other agents and actors that are involved in the digital world, including tech companies and including governments as well. This is a wider field than just their own behavior. And as in face-to-face citizenship education, we used to say the key question that we're asking in school is, what kind of society do you want? What kind of society do we want to create? So with digital citizenship education, the question is, what kind of digital society do we want? And how do we want it to interface with the physical world that we inhabit? So this is a larger focus than just the individual focusing on their individual behavior. Then this, of course, opens up this subject, or this topic, if you call it that, to a whole range of issues for learners to discuss and to explore. Okay, we may start with digital health, digital safety, but there's digital communication, how you handle digital information, including lies, misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, and so on. Digital equality and access. The digital economy is highly important. Digital sustainability, the impact of new technologies on the environment, is all part of this wider area, this wider focus, if you like, this wider curriculum for digital citizenship education. And now my final point, next slide please, is something about teaching and learning methods. Okay, so here we're talking about digital citizenship as being an aspect of democratic education, education for democratic culture. And we would want to say that just as you can't do democracy by yourself, it's almost like a contradiction in terms, you can't do it by yourself, but nor can you learn democracy by yourself. You learn democracy by working with others, sharing tasks, talking issues through together, negotiating, compromise, and this applies as much to democracy education in the digital world as in the physical world. So we see, if you like, the basic teaching approach, the basic teaching method for digital citizenship education to be one of collaborative learning, of teamworking. So teamworking in the course that the first course which we're launching today, and in behind the thinking of all the other courses, teamwork is central to young people's, or any person's for that matter, learning journey in digital citizenship. So you're more likely to see a small group of learners working together around one computer, as you see in the image there, than see them all sitting in isolation at their individual workstations with their individual devices. So the method is, if you like, a collaborative one. So I've, a little bit of time allotted to me, kind of highlighted three principles that we think that inform this Council of Europe, this European Vergeland Centre approach to digital citizenship education. It's a distinctive thing. So one principle relating to the aims and the outcomes, what we're trying to achieve. Second principle relating to the focus, what's it all about, what's the area that we deal with. And the third one, how do we do it? Teaching and learning methodology. Now, not only have these principles informed this concept of digital citizenship education, but therefore, pari passu, they inform the courses which we are writing to help people to work through more better how they can approach this with learners in school. So, on that point, I'm going to hand over to Angelos Valianatos, and he's going to say more about the first course and the structure of the courses themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Angelos, if you wish, I can share the presentation, and then you are with.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll go on.
Oh, we see you.
Please.
And I just would like to remind that we have 5 minutes, and we still have Andrei and Oksana, I know, but just wanted to remind.
So I rush on. The thing is that there are many courses available on. So what makes us propose you to try those ones? In an online course, there is a content that you go through. In a good online course, you interact with it. So you watch videos, you read texts, you critically approach them, you take notes, you reply to questions, you check your progress. You do that here too. The content is interesting and it's closely linked to everyday educational practice. But you don't do that only alone. There are digital citizenship courses here, and no one can be a citizen alone, so you need the others. It is the interconnection, the forming and the expression of different ideas and opinions, the negotiation, the mutual understanding, the sharing of democratic values in action that matters in citizenship. So, you have to be a group of at least 3 to 6 persons in order to enter those courses, not alone. Here you watch videos, you read text, you critically approach them, you take notes, you cooperate with your group members, you discuss with them, you work on the content together, you take common decisions, you create common educational learning experience. In these courses, there is no physical or digital teacher that teaches you things that you have to learn or to memorize. Your team and yourself are invited to partake in an educational process. You work individually, you contribute in a group, and you decide to further steps as a team. Discussions are not abstract. They are concrete and focused. Dealing with the issues and questions offered in the content, you form an opinion. You have to imagine and criticize certain facts, and then you are called to express yourselves as a group. So you work, you always have to record your individual and your group decisions and thoughts. In order to do that, both individually but also as a team, there is a variety of tools in the courses. As you see on the screen, there are quizzes, there are questions and choices, there are checklists, there are 10 case studies per session to work on, there are decisions to be made and recorded. I know you can read them here, but this is just to invite you to read the whole screen when you are a member of the courses. All of this respects the fact that we all in education work and deal with different age groups. And because the courses are dealing with real school situations, then this is why there are 3 different sets of expected learning outcomes at every step for pre-primary, middle, and high school student ages. This also means that when you decide to take courses, you can choose and form a group from colleagues and peers from the same level or from different levels, in a way experimented to the need of continuity in school levels education that we hope that happens so long. In the course there is evaluation, but the evaluation is not at the end of the process. It is a part of it. Evaluation is throughout the process. This is why you don't have to answer to black and white questions, but you are able to check your understanding and you are guided back to the content to further elaborate every time that you need it in order to feel secure that you have understood and did it. In these courses, creators have not predetermined an endpoint that you have to reach. They call you to construct your own individual and group learning experience using realistic, contemporary, and practical parts of pedagogical theory and educational action. This is why, in order to conclude your course trip, you are invited to create an activity that it will be ready to use in all your educational work from the next day on. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelos. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Olena, for your presentation. I hope we could excite the participants, and this is a great inspiration for them to already register for the course, and then later they will share their experience with us on different occasions. I encourage you to post your questions in the chat window. We will have a Q&A after the presentations, but now I would like to move the two designers or contributors to the course, Oksana Pashinik and Andriy Donets, to share with you their views. Oksana?
I think Andriy is going to take over this time.
Okay, thank you. Andriy?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me? Do you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the PowerPoint is visible. Great, thank you very much.
Maybe you need to start the slideshow. That might be better.
It is.
Okay, I think we can go ahead like this. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much. Just a few technical aspects about the course, how to access it, and those who already did, thank you very much. So you go on this link to the e-learning platform of the European Wergeland Center, and you will see this this screen. So this is an entry page of the platform, and then scrolling a little bit down, you'll find this course, what is Digital Citizenship Education. It's necessary to click on the heading, on the name of the course. And,
sorry, somebody needs to scroll the slides because we are still at the first slide.
I'm sorry, it's I don't understand why, but it's on. It's still the first slide that you can see.
No, now it's okay.
Now it's working, yeah.
Okay. So then you scroll a little bit down, you click on the name of the course, and then you will see the registering page. Yeah, so if you're new to the platform, there is a button, Create New Account. You click on this Create New Account and you fill in the form that is appearing, loading on the screen. Please
Andriy,
do not forget.
Can you scroll down on the? Just click on the slides on the left. Maybe that will help. When you, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay, okay. I apologize. It's strange that you see only this view. Okay. Anyway, so there is a button, Create New Account, and then you fill in the registration form and you check your email. The email, this is an important point of information. The email can go to spam folder because it's generated automatically by the platform. So if you don't receive an email immediately, just check your spam folder. And then there will be an invitation link in the email. You click on that link and you will see this page. And then it's only enroll me that you have to click. And then you are inside the course. And the course appearance is like this. It's organized in tiles view. So every tile with a name, this is a module or a chapter of the course. And when you click on a tile, it will unfold. And there will be course assignments or tasks. Then in this initial one about the course, there's only two types of material. So it's about the course with all the explanation and FAQ. In other modules, there are more tasks, more assignments to do. So you just go one by one, and it's indicated approximately how much time it will take, and if it's individual or group work. And one more important issue is that it's the group learning course. So on the very first module, which is called What is Digital Citizenship, you will be asked to create a group. So if you are the first person from your group who are entering the course, then you will have to create a group. Click on this button. And if you know already that some of your colleagues has created the group and you want to, and you're going to go through the course together, you will see the list of groups. So you will need to choose your group and just click become a member of. And this is basically it about the technicalities of the platform. So if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer.
Thank you, Andriy. I'm sure that those of you who are familiar with the platform Moodle, it's very commonly used in the academia, will not have much difficulty. But again, there's a new feature, an innovative feature, this group learning. But we will be happy to help you when you register and have difficulties. Please do not hesitate to contact us, and we'll try to solve the problem. Okay, Oksana, I understand that this is the end of the session. Unless you wish to say or add anything to what Andriy said.
No, go ahead.
Thank you. And I don't see so far no question in the chat window, so we are already running a little bit late. Therefore, I would like to move to the next session, which is a panel, and I will pass the floor to Mihail Remert, the head of the Education Policy Division, to moderate the panel. We will hear from the practitioners and then their experience testing the course in the earlier stages. Michael, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Murat, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome 3 panelists this afternoon. They all have participated, as Murat said, in the piloting of the course, and I will be addressing a specific question to each of them. Although we're running a bit behind schedule, I hope we will have a few minutes for your questions afterwards. If you do have any questions, please write them up in the chat, and Murat will then take them up and read them out. So let me introduce our panelists now. There is Marika Sikarulidze from Georgia. She's the representative of the National Center for Teachers' Professional Development, and a member of the Council of Europe's network of DCE promoters, the member for Georgia. My second panelist is Oksana Pasichnik. She's a teacher of computer science from Ukraine, and she is involved in integrating digital competence and digital citizenship into the national curriculum. And my third panelist is Vitor Tomé from Portugal. He is an international consultant and a professional journalist who teaches at the Autónoma University of Lisbon and works as a researcher at the University Institute of Lisbon. As a professional journalist and teacher trainer, he's been involved in various international projects and initiatives linked to journalism, media literacy, digital citizenship, and human rights. And he is also the coordinator of the Council of Europe's network of DCE promoters. So let me ask with I'll start with the questions to our panelists. I would like to start with Marika and ask you, Marika, why should we address digital citizenship education at school? And why is it particularly important at the present time? Marika?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Am I visible? Everything all right? Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Well, thank you very much for the question, and thank you for this opportunity to be here as a panelist. Well, I'm not going to talk about the significance of the digital citizenship education. I would just briefly try to explain how it works in a national context, maybe, and how important it is to have the approach, the European approach for each participant country. Well, we've been involved in the digital citizenship education since 2019, and it has been really very interesting to involve the teachers in the education system representatives into this process. Everyone is understanding the importance of the cross-curricular subject, and everyone is trying somehow to be a part of this. But this course, which as far as I know, will be translated and localized into different languages, is really very important, because we are living in the era, of course, well, digital era has been recently upscaled very much, especially after the COVID pandemic. We have changed our dimensions totally, especially in the education. We have been through different challenges. So digital citizenship education will only help us somehow to cope with the problems, to catch up all the necessary involvement, whatever we had during this pandemic, maybe. And also, yes, we have to admit that we are living in an era where youngsters have maybe better competencies in ICT, and the educators and maybe also the generation of parents, they have somehow less digital skills. But on the other hand, we have to teach our pupils, our students, how to cope with problems of cyberbullying, of hate speech, how to be ethical online, how to be more involved, and to somehow brush up our e-presence, and lots of other topics. So I think it is crucial to have the whole school approach for everyone, not only for teachers, but also for school principals, maybe for also for parents in future, of course, to influence the better future, and not only the like real life citizenship of our pupils, but also the digital one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marika. We could hear you, but unfortunately we didn't see you. I just saw Oksana, and let me ask you, Oksana, to tell us a little bit about your work on digital citizenship education at school, and how, in your view, the DCE course can facilitate your and other practitioners' work in the classroom. Oksana?
Yes, thank you, Michael, for this question. And I would like to say that I have been involved with the Digital Citizenship Education project since 2019, and I have been implementing it into the work with my students since then. And the first thing I can honestly share with all the other educators present here, that students just love it. They feel they need to discuss those topics because they are very important to them, because we consider our students to be digital natives. So it is their space, it is their world. And somehow they feel that it is just as natural as the real outside world around us. But at the same time, they are still kids, and they are still trying to figure out how to work, how to live in this digital world, because you cannot do it alone. you need to find ways to cooperate with others, to communicate with others, how to build relationships, how to build their image online. And this is all they need to figure out, and they rely on adults to provide support to make their decisions wisely. And actually, as adults, we often offer a lot of pieces of advice to our youth, how to do math, or how to do history, how to read literature, or whatever. But somehow in this digital world, we seem to let it go, because we believe that young students can do it themselves. They are so good with technology, but it's not about the technology. It's about what they are doing with it, how they are dealing with it, and how they're using it to be productive, to be active, to be safe in an online environment. And I should say that many teachers feel that they are not prepared to do that, to tackle those issues. Sometimes teachers might feel intimidated by all this technology and the fact that their students might be, even better in using it. But it doesn't mean that we should just give up and don't talk about this with our students. And actually, I have found that when we start these conversations, students are so eager, on the one hand, to share their experience, but on the other hand, to discuss it, to make sure that they find some other views on their behavior, on the situations they have come across online. And it is a very good starting point to have these conversations. And I believe that this course that is being presented today actually shares these pieces of advice to educators, how to start integrating those issues into your own lessons, actually no matter what kind of subjects you are teaching. Because good digital citizenship education activity is not about digital literacy. It's not about some buttons or some software you need to learn. It's about talking with your students about the issues that arise from digital world. It's about giving them space to express their opinions on citizenship issues or questions. And it is a possibility to make a difference to society. I would also probably like to mention that today, in the light of the war that is happening in Ukraine, digital citizenship issues have come into much attention. First of all, we mentioned critical thinking, dealing with fake news, disinformation, and digital media in general. It is painfully clear that these skills are really vital in the most direct sense of this word. We need citizens with open minds, open hearts, and ready to critically think and assess what is being told digitally and what they are reading. It is important to be responsible users of this information and responsible producers of information in the digital world. We need to share responsibly, and this is also something that is about digital citizenship. But at the same time, we shouldn't treat digital world as a very dangerous place where only bad things can happen. We actually need to make our students believe that this is a space to be creative, to learn, to share good stuff, to keep in touch with friends and family. And it's a place to be active citizens. Think about your views, share your views, make your voices heard. And it's the empowerment that was mentioned by Ted earlier. And I'm sure that the course that is being presented today is actually enabling teachers to keep this balance, talk about the responsibilities, and at the same time show the opportunities that there are in the digital world. So I really hope that this course is going to be a good starting place for teachers to start thinking about these discussions with your students. And I hope that your discussions with your students will be as fun and as deep as I had those with mine. So thank you for attention and have a great time on this course.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Oksana. Let me turn to Vitor, our third and last panelist, and ask him, Vitor, based on the feedback you collected from a number of educators during the validation phase, what are the specific and novel features of this course? Or let me put it in other words, what makes it different from other existing courses?
Hello, Michael. Thank you for your question. Hello, everyone. Going directly to answer to your question, and according to the results of the testing, because the testing was developed last year between 27th of April and the 7th of May, the prototype course contained 8 innovative features. It was according to a report that was organized by Olina, Ted, Angelos, and me. And these 8 innovative features are, the first one is a new look on DCE, so the participants, the learners, can understand citizenship the Councils of Europe way, so it's beyond personal safety and civility, as we were told before. The second one is social learning. The learners can enroll and work together in small groups, and this raises peers' motivation. Third one is self-moderation. They can make common decisions about the learning arrangements, but also regarding the final outcomes or the final outcome. The fourth one is adaptation to the local context, and this is extremely important because participants can take steps to customize general concepts to the specific needs of the learners in their specific context. The fifth one is the course companion. Each group produces an innovative outcome. The course companion was considered an innovative outcome, which is a built-in tool tracking the group's critical interactions throughout the course. The sixth one is the individual reflection, because there is time for individual reflection, as Angelos showed us before, or told us before. Each participant approaches new concepts through personal knowledge and previous experience. The seventh one is the learner participation. But the participants, the learners, are really actively engaged in personalizing the learning process and taking ownership of its outcomes. And finally, they produce a ready-to-use product. This is a ready-to-use lesson plan or other activity or other educational activity using new learning tools. If you allow me, I'd like to say just a few words about the volunteers that participate in this testing. The 57 volunteers were 39 female and 8 male, came from 11 countries, from Croatia, Georgia, Greece, Malta, North Macedonia, Norway, Portugal, Romania, Slovenia, Turkey, and Ukraine. The largest subgroup was composed of teachers, 38, while 8 were teacher trainers and 11 were national educational authorities and NGO representatives. The age range varied from 23 to 56 years old, and 51 out of the 57 had previous experience on participation in online courses. And of these, 37 had completed massive online open courses. I think it's the most important. If you have questions, of course, I'll be glad to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vitor. Thank you very much to all our 3 panelists. I'm taking a look at the chat and would also like to draw your attention to some comments of another person who has participated in the piloting related by Murat in the chat. This is from Mirjana Kamber, who is a history and philosophy teacher in Split in Croatia. Also, our colleague Enisha Karaso from the education department draws your attention to our latest online course on the key to media literacy, which is complementary to the course we are discussing here. And that also will perhaps give some answers to Pauline Cummins' question or comment about young people not always understanding what fake news are and maybe not mature enough to spot misinformation or fake data. Are there any other questions? It doesn't seem to be the case. Any last words by any one of the 3 panelists before I hand back to Murat? that is not the case. Thank you very much to the three panelists and to all of you to listen to us. Back to Murat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Oksana, Marika, and Vitor. Of course, I mean, we try to squeeze in, an important topic and a big event in a fairly short time. We have much to say, to share with you, but we will have other occasions to do so. Now, I would like to give the floor to Irina Sabor. She is the head of section for early childhood and school, and she is a member of the online learning team at the European Wergeland Center. I think the most difficult part of is Irina's to wrap up this event. Again, I have shared the link. Also, Irina has shared the link for the registration, and we invite you, encourage you to visit to learn more about the course and to register and test the course, and let us know about your experience. Irina, over to you.
Thank you, Murat. It has been a pleasure to work in a team, and I'm really looking forward to receiving the first feedback from our participants. We are working further on 6 more, at least, courses, as Olena has announced. It is controversial issues, cyberbullying, hate speech online, active participation, digital access, and disinformation online. Please stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook. It's EWC. And follow our webpage of the European Wergeland Center and webpage of the Digital Citizenship Education Project of the Council of Europe. We will post more information about the upcoming courses. I'm also very grateful to Milano and Anna for giving a broader picture of the importance of the digital citizenship education in today's world, especially as we see the war that is going on in Ukraine, and the direct influence of digital citizenship skills that is so vital and important now. I would like to again stress on the importance of all the teachers that are enrolling in the course to work with the issues of digital citizenship education with your colleagues, team up with others, and strengthen your work on digital citizenship in schools and other educational institutions. We see, as many of authors and other presenters mentioned today, we see that that citizenship education and education for democratic citizenship and human rights is now enhanced by the digital understanding of the digital citizenship, and it is important that we are well equipped. Thank you to authors for presenting the key features and principles of the course. We hope that the empowerment that this course will give and the approach of learning together will help all the users be successful in their activities and their projects on digital citizenship education, and in fact eventually will improve digital environment for learners in your school, but also for all of us. It is a very interesting, interactive course, innovative. It is a course on a very important and vital topic and up to date, and it is practical. So please join the course. And as the person, the practitioners mentioned in the end, this course is also very important for our children. Open up a conversation with them and debate and discuss the issues that are important for our kids these days. And these are the issues of living in a digital world. Thank you. And again, please join our Facebook page. Look up information on new courses at our both the webpage of the European Berglund Center and webpage of the Council of Europe's project on digital citizenship education. And good luck with the course.
Thank you, Irina. And this marks the end of this event. Again, we would like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon and being attentive to the presentations. And again, we would like to invite you to register for the course, to visit our website on Digital Citizenship Education if you wish to know more about digital citizenship education, and also on the education website, overall what we do in the field of education. And we'll try to put all the video recording of this event and the presentations on the DC website in the coming days. And I shared an email address. Please do not hesitate to contact us to share your experience, your feedback about the course, and then overall about digital citizenship education. And I wish you all a nice afternoon and looking forward to meeting you in the future events. Thank you very much. And also thank you to all speakers for your great presentations and important messages.